Hello, everybody. Happy snow day for you all again and virtual learning day. I'm going to be honest, I didn't think that we would be off school tomorrow or on Thursday. I was working out and then I got done and I went into the kitchen, started making dinner, and then I started getting text messages from the teachers and they're like, have you seen the news? All these school districts are canceled. And so then I started thinking, oh my goodness, I can't believe we might miss school again. But I get it. I know my street is not great and cars are getting stuck on it. I know the main roads have gotten a little bit better, but those side roads are bad. So I hope that you're warm and cozy and safe and maybe you got outside to play in the snow a little bit. But here is virtual day number 2's assignment. And I am just going to keep whipping through health stuff so that we can get more PE stuff when we're at school. So we finished up yesterday with accessing information. So that final assignment that was up on Wednesday on the Canvas page, make sure you have that complete and it's done well. I will go through and start grading those, and then we'll be wrapping up that unit. And we're going to move on to analyzing influences, which we can get through probably in a couple classes, probably 3 classes, and ending with a little project that you're going to have to do. So let me give you a little background on this so that you know why we do this and what it all means, and then I'll show you your assignment for the day. So analyzing influences. How are people changed through their relationships and experiences? So we're going to look at not only, we're going to start off looking at the people around you and how they influence you, how they change you, how they make you feel, think, and act. And we want to really work on having positive influences in our life and not so much negative influences. They happen, but the more we can surround ourselves around things that influence us positively, the healthier that we will be. We are also going to then dive into some things that can influence your health and look at those, but that'll be a little bit later. So for this one, you're going to examine how your family influences your health, how your peers or friends influence your healthy and unhealthy behaviors, and then we're not going to do this one. I took that one off, so we'll get rid of that. And that's where we're going to go with that. If you're looking here, you'll kind of see probably by the end of this assignment, we'll be through surface and deep. And so then we will eventually, the next time we go to health, or we have health on the computer, we'll work into this final one. Okay, so for this assignment today and for what we're going to talk about today, you're going to talk about the important relationships in your life, what healthy and unhealthy behaviors are, list any that you have, and then recognize how people around you make you the person you are, influence your health. So if I were to give you a definition of an influence is the power to have an important effect on someone or something. That can be negative or that can be positive. I think of the people that I work with on our 6th grade team, and they have a positive influence on me and what I do in the classroom. For example, last year I taught upstairs next to Mrs. Reiner, and so she had a positive influence on just about everything that I do in life. Like, she is now my workout buddy in the weight room every day after school when we are there. We go in and we work out together. She does her workout on one side, I do my workout on the other, and then we always end up on the cardio side at the end. Sometimes she leaves a little earlier than I do because she has to go get her kids, but she has made a positive influence on my life because she has just been somebody that helps to promote healthy living, fitness, and on days when I just don't really want to go exercise, I know that she's going to be in there and that it'll make it just a little bit better to have her down there. So I would say that she is a positive influence on my life. I've had negative influences in my life. Gosh, when I was back in 6th grade, there were people that were in my class that were just nasty, and they were just mean, and they were unkind, and they were bullying, and I was a real shy, quiet kid when I was in 6th grade. I kind of just always did the right thing, and I just kind of hung near people, and I had kids that bullied me, and they were a really negative influence that not only lasted my 6th grade year, but influenced me well into my life, where I constantly always thought back to that part of, maybe they don't like me. Why do I want to hang out with them? That kind of thing. So I would say those people or that situation in 6th grade was a negative influence in my life. Now, influences can be external. The ones I just talked about are things outside our body. So I talked to you about Mrs. Reiner. I talked to you about people that were in my 6th grade class. You can also have influences inside of you, like your thoughts, your feelings, and your beliefs. And those are internal influences. We don't see them, but they are a lot of what help drive us in the decisions that we make and the actions that we do. When we're looking at influences, we always want to think, how does this influence, how does this person, this belief, this feeling, this thing make me feel, think, and act? And then we're able to then look at it and say, is this a positive or is this a negative? Is this somebody I want to have around me all the time, or just sometimes, or never? So we're going to look at different influences. We're going to talk about the things that make them a good influence, and then we'll have a little action plan to go with it. If you think back, way at the beginning of the year, we watched the story of the Chris and his Iron Man story. And if you can think of that story again and think about some of the people that were influences in his life, he had doctors as he was growing up that didn't think that he would amount to much. They had a coach as he was getting ready to train for his triathlon that said, I will not help you. I don't think this is right. That could have been a negative. But if you remember Chris's story, he didn't let that stuff get to him. He looked for the positive influences. He found a coach that would positively influence him. He had his dad that was always by his side. And that when things got tough out in the race and the fire ants got his foot and he crashed and all of that, his dad was there to help pick him up and push him along. So when we look at any story that's out there, we can oftentimes see that people have positive and negative influences, and we just want to be able to identify them a little bit more. All right, so for today, we're going to look at some of the influences that are in your life. So you're going to get this worksheet. It will be attached as an assignment. You can click through it on Canvas and find it there, or you can go to the assignments and find it. And I want you to think about who are important people in your life. So write the names or roles of 5 people. You don't have to give me their full name. You could just say a friend from Colorado or a friend from kindergarten. You don't have to share their names if you're not comfortable with it. And then what makes these relationships important to you? Describe 1 or 2 reasons why they are meaningful to you. Then we're going to look at unhealthy and healthy behaviors, because sometimes our influences lead us to become more healthy. Like Mrs. Reiner helps me to become more healthy by exercising with me. But there are some times, especially in your teenage years, where there might be people that are around you that are going to not be the most positive influence on your health and may lead you to being part of unhealthy behaviors. So think of some things that you do. And first of all, describe what is a healthy behavior. What does that mean to you? If you were to give me a definition in your own words, what would it be? What is the definition of an unhealthy behavior? And then you're going to give me some examples. What are 3 things that would be healthy behaviors? And there's an example right there for you. What are 3 things that would be unhealthy behaviors? And then we're going to dig into the influences a little bit more. So what does influence mean to you? We talked about that earlier in the video. What does it mean to you? Who or what influences your behavior? So think of 3 things that change the way you feel, think, and act. So who are 3 people? What are 3 things? What are actions? Anything that's out there that make you feel differently, think differently, or act differently? And just write those down. And then think about your own behaviors and list 2 examples of each. 2 things that you do that are really healthy that you're proud of, and maybe 2 things that are not as healthy that you would want to change. For example, I've talked before about how I don't get nearly enough sleep for myself. And so that is something I've been working on, especially over break, is making sure I get better sleep at night. But I know sleep is important for me, so I would say lack of sleep would be an unhealthy behavior that I've been working on to change. Okay? When you're finished with that, you're going to go onto Canvas and click the Submit button and turn it in through there. I know today some of you guys shared them with me in my email, and that's fine, but I would rather if you could go back into Canvas and click that blue Submit button, and then I have them all in one place when I go to grade them, instead of all over the place. Again, for what is tomorrow? Thursday. If you have questions or you're confused, email me. I had my computer open all of the day today, so I was able to get back to people in a timely way. Hopefully you felt like that, and answer your guys' questions as you were doing this. If this is not finished, this will again be done during a Fun Friday. So it's totally fine if this is not something that you're able to do while you're at home, but know then that you'll be working on this during a Fun Friday day or another day of PE at school. Okay? That is it for analyzing influences in this assignment. I hope that you guys enjoy your next day off. I sure look forward to seeing you soon. And we're still at some point going to do basketball when we get back there. All right, have a good night, or have a good day. Bye.